What's going on, guys? I'm Michael, and if you're new here, my wife and I sell full time on eBay, mostly men's clothing. And every week on Mondays, typically, we do a video over the best sales from the previous week. Today, I've got a video just of that for you. In advance, I'm sorry for my raspy voice and if I'm hard to hear today. I've had bronchitis for the past week, and I feel perfectly fine, but my voice is really bad, and I also am coughing a lot. So, again, sorry if I'm coughing or my voice is hard to hear in this video. But as usual, we'll get into the numbers, and then I will show you guys the top 20 sales that we had over last week. So let's get right into this. All right, so last week we ended up selling 152 items for a gross sales amount of $5,358. Our ASP was $35.25. The sales tax collected by eBay and redistributed to the states was an expense of $287. The shipping cost for last week's sales was $847. The final value fees were $650, and we promote all of our listings at 10%, which ended up costing us $387. And then finally, our cost of goods for the items that sold last week was $1,102, and that was just an average that we do on our store to make it simple for you guys, because we don't track each item's expense. We do the cash method of accounting. So the average is $7.25 per item. Multiply that by 152, you get 1102. So that left us with a profit before state taxes and federal taxes of $2,083. All right, so to start us off, we had a Suit Supply blazer sell. This thing sold within 24 hours of listing it. I ended up taking a best offer of $75 just to get it moving and grooving, because I know blazers sit for a while typically, and I like to get them out the door if people like sending offers that aren't, typically too far off from my ask price. So yeah, Suit Supply for blazers is a really good brand. I've sold them anywhere from this price of $75 up to $150, depending on what model and size and material they are. So this one I priced a little under market value because it had a couple little flaws, but still a great sale, and I paid $5.99 for this item. The next one is a pair of Hokas. This is one of the newer styles, the Clifton 9s, so they go for quite a bit more money than the older Clifton 8s and Bondi 7s and stuff like that. This item I probably ended up spending, I believe, around $20 for, and they sold within a week or two, and they sold for the full ask price of $69.99 plus shipping. All of our listings are the list price plus shipping, in case you were wondering, so the buyer always pays shipping. These were just a woman's size 9.5 shoe, but the Clifton 9s are going really quickly and for really good money right now, just because they're the newest model of Clifton Hokas that are currently being made. So even with these flaws of the wear on the soles and stuff, they still sold for a great price. Next item is a lot of 10 of these, I don't know how to pronounce it, Acushnet bullseye putters. They're just vintage putters. I ended up picking these up for $1.50 each, so it ended up being about $15. And I just threw them up on auction. I usually never run auctions, but these ones I just didn't know how to price them. And I just wanted to get them live and let people just bid on them, because I knew they'd sell for, I knew I'd at least make my money back on them, or at least double it. So I just threw them up, and they ended up selling for $59 plus $15 for the shipping. So great little find, $15 into $59. I don't do golf clubs often, but if I find good ones, I end up flipping them. Next item is this newest tags, Peter Millar Perth quarter zip. The MSRP was $135. It did have a logo on the front, a company logo, but it seemed to not really impact the sell-through rate or the price all that much. These were listed just a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago maybe, and it sold for a best offer of $65 plus shipping. So a little bit on the lower side for new tags Peter Millar quarter zip, but only about $10 to $15 off if that logo wasn't there. So really good sale, still sold quick, so not a big deal. Next one is another Suit Supply brand item. This is a pair of, I don't know how to explain these. They were really thick. They're 100% wool, and it's almost like a jogger style, but it's like mixed with slacks. So it's called the circular wool flannel, and they were the sell-through was insane on these. There wasn't many listed, like only a few, and I think there was like 5 to 10x sold what was listed. So listed these on the higher side and ended up taking a best offer of $65 plus shipping. And so yeah, got these, and they sold, I believe, within 2 weeks of listing them. And I think I paid up for these a little bit. I think I paid about 15 for these. So, but still a really good flip. Next item is a Corneliani blazer, if that's how it's pronounced. This is the second Corneliani blazer I have sold. And I don't know a whole lot about the brand, but their blazers seem to be doing okay for me, and I'll probably keep picking up here and there. I usually don't spend more than $5 on this brand though, just because it's a very low sell-through rate, but the ASP on them is on the higher side. So a couple little flaws on the shoulder here, but not a big deal. And I think in the last week's What Sold video, I also had one of these blazers in there that sold for about this price, maybe like $50 instead of this sale. But this one was the best offer as well, a $55.95 plus shipping. So yeah, really good sale. Love blazers, still getting into them and learning them, but they're doing well so far. Next item is a pair of Lululemon ABC pants. These were just some dark green ABC pants. Find a lot of Lulu pants. I think every week we have a pair or two in these videos. These had some stains on the knees, but they still sold for the full ask price of $55.94 plus shipping. Size 31. They look like an ultra slim fit, but anyways, yeah, Lululemon, super good brand. It's in every video, so I'm gonna skim over it, but their pants do really well. And I believe we paid probably about $10 for these at Goodwill. So next one is G4. This is a really good brand. G4 is a golf brand. They make a lot of really high-end just clothing, golf shoes, pants, jackets, and polos. And so I found this polo for, I believe, $8.99. It's either $5.99 or $8.99 a couple months back, about 3 months ago. And listed on the higher side because there weren't any exactly like this listed or sold. Size small, so really bad size, but ended up still selling for $62.17 plus shipping. So great sale. This is probably the second or third G4 polo that we have resold. Not a super common brand, but we find like their golf shoes and stuff a lot more than their clothing. So next one is a Silver Tab Levi's pair of jeans. Super good brand for the Silver Tab stuff. Silver Tab Levi's is across the board really good. Probably ended up paying about $9.99 for these at a Goodwill, and they sold within it took about a month to sell, month to month and a half, and they sold for the ask price of $55.94. We've sold quite a few of these jeans in the past, and they always sell really quickly within a month or two, and usually over that $50 price. So be on the lookout for the Silver Tab. Next one. This is the first and only time I have found this brand. I found this at the beginning of winter. Took a while to sell. There weren't really that many. Like the sell-through rate was pretty low, but again the ASPs were super high, all above like $50. So CP Company, kind of a low-key brand. Whenever in the resale world, I don't think a lot of people know about it, but this is a CP Company wool sweater, and so ended up picking it up. I remember it being less than $10. I just don't remember the exact price. It took about 5 months to sell, 4 to 5 months. So it took a little bit longer, like I said, because that sell-through rate being lower. But the sale price ended up being $50 plus shipping. So I ended up taking a $50 offer. We're moving out of winter. I wanted to get this thing out. So whenever I got an offer $50, even though it's lower than I typically would like, for my offer settings, I still accepted it just to get it out before it just becomes dead inventory sitting through the summer. But really good brand across the board. Next is just a Patagonia Cinchilla. Had some flaws on the sleeve, just some fading a little bit on the sleeves, a little spot there, but ended up selling for $50.22 plus shipping. We usually pick up all the Patagonia Cinchilla line stuff unless it's overpriced at the thrift stores because they just sell super well pretty much all year round in my opinion. So even in the summer, if we find this stuff, we'll end up still picking it up and selling it really quick. Next one is a Frank and Eileen button-down shirt. I have no clue if I found this or if Kindle found this. It's a recent listing. I believe this is a Kindle find, my wife, Kindle. This was listed about 3 to 4 weeks ago and ended up selling for, I can't find the exact sold price over here, but probably sold for, I think, the list price or maybe $50 plus shipping. I usually don't budge too much on price with Frank and Eileen because it is such a high demand item. So yeah, great brand. We usually actually find it in the men's section too. There's a lot of the times the thrift stores actually put the women's clothes in the men's section and vice versa. So probably ended up finding these in the men's section. But if Kendall found this, she likes to look at the women's clothes, so maybe she ended up actually finding it in the women's section. But I've sold this brand many times. It's a very quick seller. Always be on the lookout for it. All their stuff is super good. And yeah. Next item is a Vineyard Vines quarter zip, the Bluffs quarter zip OTG. On the go Vineyard Vines stuff is really good. This one was new with tags, houndstooth pattern sort of. But yeah, ended up selling for $45 plus shipping, and sold really quickly within 2 weeks. But yeah, I was surprised this didn't go for a little more money whenever I did the comps, but still can't complain. I think we ended up picking this up at a Goodwill for about $10. So really good flip, and again, cannot complain, but still. Next one's a newer brand to me. It's called Western Welder. It was in last week's haul video, I think, or the week before that's haul video. Or no, it was in the live stream. The most recent live stream, this was in there. And yeah, it sold really quickly. There's like 0 listed and 20 or 30 sold. Listed at $48.88, but had a sale running at 10% off and ended up selling for the ask price of $43.99. So really good brand, really not that common in the thrift store. I don't think I've ever seen it till I found this one. But yeah, super good brand. Again, be on the lookout for this thing. I know it's probably not going to pop up in y'all stores, but it's still good to have it in your memory in case you get lucky and it is in your store, because this thing sells super great. Ended up paying $8.99 for this one, and yeah, again, sold within about a week. All right, next item is a Patagonia Nano Vest. This thing had a couple flaws on it, and it also had a company logo, D.R. Horton, but the logo stitching was not like screaming at all. It was very low key. So ended up listing this, and I think it sold in 24 hours for the ask price of $43.99. Really quick flip. Even with the logo and flaws, the Nano stuff does super well. The little puffer vests and stuff that Patagonia makes. So we are not scared of logos being on these things because the sell-through rate is high, as well as the sale prices. Size small as well. So everything was working against this sale, and it still sold super well and super fast and for a decent amount of money. I think we paid less than $10 for this. The thrift stores typically don't price things with logos that high. So got it for cheap and flipped it for 4 to 5 times the amount we paid. Next one is a pair of Cole Haans. I've talked about Cole Haan shoes and this teeth sole being a good model that they make. The 0 grand. But I think there's other models that are called 0 grand that don't have this teeth thing. So I always pick up the ones that have this teeth sole. They typically do really well. This one ended up selling for the ask price of $39.99 plus shipping. Sold, I believe, within like a month to 2 months. And yeah, these just do really well for me. So I'll keep buying them until they sort of taper off and don't do as well. But every time I buy Cole Haans, I always look up this model number with the C in the front of it, and that will end up pulling up the exact shoe you have, and you can see the sell-through rate and double check to make sure that you are going to be buying a good item to flip. Next item, I don't really know much about, hockey stuff and tags that are good and vice versa and so on and so forth. But I know Dallas Stars stuff is good, so I looked up Dallas Stars whenever I saw this item with the old-time hockey thing here. Ended up paying $3.50 for this item, and had a couple little stains and stuff, but it sold still pretty quickly within 2 months and sold for a best offer of $39.71 plus shipping. So a great flip in my opinion. Yeah, moving again out of winter, these heavier things, I just am happy to see moving and getting out of our store before they become dead inventory until the next winter. So next item is a pair of Peter Millar pants. These are these EB66s. Yeah, EB66s. I don't know why that's not in the title. That should be in the title. But yeah, the EB66 line, I've talked about it many times in the past, and probably half the videos we've made. We find these a ton in the thrift store. They're never expensive to pick up. They're always like $10 or less. And this model that Peter Millar makes is incredible. It always sells within a month for us, 1 to 2 months. So super high sell-through rate. Ended up selling for $40 plus shipping. And I believe, yeah, this even had some flaws here, some little black marks. So we usually get about $40 to $50 plus shipping for these pants. And again, they just do super well. So we buy them a lot. One time I actually think found 20 of them at one time in a thrift store for like $6 a piece. It was insane. So that's sort of how I figured out about this model, was because of that. That find of 20 of them. I had to do a little more research before pulling the trigger. Next one is a Canali button-up shirt. It's a cotton linen blend. This one sat for quite a long time. Size large. In the measurements, it says 2XL here, but this thing looks like it's shrunk a little bit, so I ended up labeling it as a large and saying that it fits more like a large than a 2XL just based off of the measurements. This sat for quite a while, like a long time, 9 months almost, but I honestly priced this way too high. If I found this today, I'd probably price it more on the area that it sold or much less than that. This ended up selling, I think, for $38.88 plus shipping. I took a best offer, and yeah, so priced it way too high. I didn't think I was new to the Canali button ups at that point 9 months ago, so I didn't really know how to price them super well, but ended up pricing it out or reducing the price over time, and finally sold. So all right, had to throw a tie sale in here. We had a bunch of other items that sold above this sale price, but if you saw the tie haul video, I didn't get any Donald J. Trumps out of that tie haul from the viewer that I bought out, but I have been buying these Donald J. Trump ties, and this was the first tie that sold that we have listed so far. We listed about, I think, 30 or 40, about 30, I think, of them last week, and at the beginning of last week, and this one sold within a few days. Sold for $35, and the ties are free shipping, so that's the only thing in our store that's free shipping. So the ties it was $35 free shipping. Really good sale, honestly. I was not expecting to get $35 for this tie. I was expecting more so of an offer of like 30 or maybe even 25, but still sold really quick. And then I also listed a few other Donald Trump ties, and they all have like watchers and everything. So apparently these are doing really well right now. I don't know if it's because the elections are coming back up or just because they always have had good ties, but I will keep buying these things until they start slowing down in our store. So that is the 20 items that sold on the higher side of our sales last week. I hope you guys learned something. Maybe it was G4 or something like that in this video. Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to stop talking and move on because I'm about to lose my voice from talking. But thank you guys for showing up, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I'll probably have a video go live on hopefully Thursday. This weekend, we're going to do a garage sale and liquidate some of our older inventory that was poorly pictured and poorly titled and stuff like that. And I think my wife wants to record some of that stuff because she thinks it'd be cool to show you guys the garage sale and to see how well we did with liquidating our stuff just locally. And so, yeah, I'll probably make a video about that over the next couple weeks. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. And if you liked a video like this, I do these every week on Mondays or Tuesdays. Just depends on what's going on in my life. But it always ends up being every week. It comes up Monday or Tuesday. So if you like this style of video, subscribe, leave a comment of some things you might want to see in the future, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.